So, hello everyone, this is Tuesday, July 26, 2022, the Hindu Daily edition, and as usual, we'll be first identifying the most important news followed by a detailed discussion. So, let's see. Draupadi Murmu is the President of India. Very congratulations to her. Okay, Myanmar is not required, no bill to stop attack on hospital. EC action, says Uddhav Kam. Okay, part discharge on AIMS report. Sailing from Sri Lanka. Okay. 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 Smart e-beat system launched in Gurugram. What is this? Not required. Okay, there is nothing here. Fine. Okay, fresh flood in Godavari creates panic. Okay, publicize anti-corruption helpline Jagan Mohan Reddy. Yes, anti-corruption headline should be publicized. This is correct. Ravi Verma can seek Bharat Ratna for him. So Ravi Verma was the Raja, no? Raja of this Travancore dynasty and Travancore Empire. And refined art practice of colonial era or royal family of. Okay. A global order caught up in swirl of chaos. Ukraine is only one of the many strand altering contours of world government. Yes, there are many nuclear deterrents in West Asia. Look, I won't be reading this, but I'll give you a hint for this. Okay. When we are talking about global order, take 3-4 places of the world. Okay. This is your Americas. Fine. This is your Europe. This is your Africa. You have your Asia over here. Asia. Australia. A very crude map I have made. You know I make better maps than this. So whenever we talk about this, take this as a Asia, means South Asia you take as a contour, you check China and this area, China plus Central Asia, not Central Asia, China would be enough. Now East Asia region or West Asia region that we say, this is very important. Okay, Australia and plus North countries, this is important. North means mostly Europe, America, Australia, mostly. Okay, and here you have Latin America, that is mostly, take South Asia plus Latin America as a block, and then you can divide the entire world. Okay, and this also includes Japan plus South Korea. So if you can do up with this, then you will have everything under your belt to write the answer on a global order. Why? Because look, the dynamics of this West Asia are different than South Asia and Latin America. These are almost same with a bit of difference because both are developing worlds. Okay, therefore we have this grouping called BRICS where Brazil and India come together. Okay, the Africa is another global space where things are in different perspective. Fine. So with this thing in your mind, you give it the read. You give read to this article. Look, Europe, China, India means South Asia, West Asia. You see. So learn to divide the world into spaces for international relation thing. Any reimagination of law need examination. Large scale under trial incarceration, golden arm, these are now. Backsliding. T.S. Trimurti, you know this person? He was the permanent representative of India to United Nations. He has just been relieved of his duty and Ruchika Kamboj has taken his place, right? So we will be reading this because he was a government officer and his views are very important for the examination. Okay. The private sector boost India Space Agency. We'll give a read to just what is there. The latest guidance on arrest and bail order raised study menstrual disturbances post COVID-19 vaccination. We'll do the just know this point that yes, there is a possibility of this thing also. Okay, so there could be disturbance in the menstrual cycle of adolescents girls, especially post COVID-19 vaccination, right? Fine. Okay. Now let's see. Allocations of travel legacy concern for Indian daughters. Yes, true. World leader congratulates India new President Murmu. Mayurbhanj जो Devair feast dance praise. You know Mayurbhanj is an elephant reserve in India, right? And it is in Odisha. Just know these things. These are little tidbits that help you to mark right answers during prelims, right? Member suspended from Lok Sabha. Muzzle the opposition by non-monkey virus has evolved. Okay. Fine, there is nothing here. Aviation industry being sensitive to higher Agniveer. We'll see this. What is this? Okay. Third term. Then why they have not toppled the government of Zelensky? It was very easy for them. Uses in Canada, not required. Tata Steel. We know RBI is ready to give up at least $100 billion for this. Okay. So in that connection, he has said, Economic Advisory Committee member has said that it's okay. So I think we have identified the most important news for the day. Okay. Fine. So IOA makes request to provide. Okay. So with this we have identified the most important news. Now let's go directly on identifying the same. Okay. I don't think we had any news on the first page that was of relevance. Neither on these pages. So we were on the editorial page itself. Backsliding on climate action, right? Western nations have started reinterpreting the Paris deal to look to downgrade their commitments. Okay, so this is what the ex-PR of India to UN says, right? Now let's see. Countries in Europe led by Germany, Australia and Netherlands are cranking up their coal plant again. Okay. Coal exports to Europe are surging, fossil fuels are making comeback and countries are rejecting European Union plan to reduce natural gas consumption by 15%. Dutch, Polish and other European farmers are protesting against emission cuts from agriculture. Renewables are nowhere near meeting the rising power demand in summer or winter with record high temperatures now. Hasty and ill-conceived EU climate policies are coming home to roost. While current problems are becoming blamed on Ukraine conflict, more specifically Russia, they actually started with power prices began surging well before anything happened in Ukraine. Europe is starting is staring at a recession and its appetite for climate action is waning. Okay, so that's true. When you are going through a financial crisis, you won't consider anything but about food, right? The stomach comes first. Now, downgrading commitments. In US too, the Senate and the Supreme Court have stuck blows to climate action. And in US too, prices of fuel started increasing this year, not just this year. This is causing inflation. Energy security is nowhere near. Fossil fuel are making a quiet comeback since the strength of US is its oil and gas industry. This is why we have just witnessed a recalibration of US policy towards the Gulf. Okay, the US choice is between concentrating on its economy and getting it in on track for its people are fighting hard against climate change and facing an irate electorate in November. Okay, this choice is clear. So coal, oil, and gas are not going anywhere in developed world. They are in fact making a comeback. It was foolish to think that the world would miraculously transition, and especially during COVID-19 pandemic, to renewables. The West has rushed to draw down on fossil fuel even before technology for renewables were in place. Many developing countries are also facing unrest due to skyrocketing energy prices, which are threatening the government. United Nations unsurprisingly continues to pillory coal. This is a new word I have found. I think it means that they are against coal, but let's see. Pillory. Pillory. A wooden framework with holes for head and hands, in which offenders are formally imprisoned and exposed to public abuse. Yes. Oh, this thing is pillory, right? So that's true. What I thought, that they were against coal. In the scenario, we may do well to remember that it was Prime Minister Modi ji who made an ambitious pledge on climate change in last Glasgow conference. Further, when India fought to make the COP language closer to our current energy mix a reality by calling a phase down of coal rather than phase out, the COP president supposedly struggled to hold back the tears. With countries of developed world almost sure to reach on their 2030 Paris renege on their 2030 Paris Agreement commitment, countries of the developing world must do everything to hold countries of the developed world to their commitment and not get unwittingly down on into their game. In fact, the EU Commissioner for Climate Action and Energy helpfully signaled that US can downgrade its pledge under Paris deal. G7 leaders met only backtrack on their pledge if they started downgrading pledges, which seems almost inevitable. Who do they expect to compensate? The global south, of course. And so the game is on. The Western nations have already started reinterpreting the Paris Agreement and look to downgrade their commitment. If they pull back, what will happen to Paris deal? Aims to limit the global warming below 2 degrees Celsius. More importantly, what can the developing countries do to stop backsliding by the developed world? To begin with, we need to understand how the concept of net zero is being cleverly misinterpreted. To bring this attention to the global south, India, China, and 8 other countries from Africa, Asia, and Latin America made a cross-regional statement on global net zero on June 7. I take the liberty to referring it at some length. Article 4 of Paris Agreement defines global peaking. Thus, in order to achieve the long-term temperature goal set out in the Article 2, parties aim to reach global peaking of greenhouse gas emission as soon as possible. Recognizing that peaking will take longer for developing country parties, the cross-regional statement made by 10 countries says, we believe that the world global peaking is a conscious and considered insertion in Paris Agreement text. With full recognition of the fact that peaking will take longer for developing countries, the developed countries, given their historical emission, will have to peak first. That's why the reference is to global peaking and not individual peaking. From this, it logically follows that when the developing country party peak later than developed country, they will also achieve net zero later than the developed country. Okay. Consequently, it is logical conclusion of Article 4 of Paris Agreement that when we consider net zero, we should only consider global net zero and not individual net zero for 2050. Any other interpretation will be contrary to Article 4. The statement further says it would. So what we get from here, global net zero concept, right? The statement further says it will become clear that the global net zero, where developing countries take longer to reach the net zero, can only be achieved if developed countries reach net zero earlier than 2050. Therefore, developed countries must reach net zero before 2050 in order to achieve global net zero by around mid-century. The statement therefore calls upon developed countries to do a net negative on mitigation by 2050 rather than just net zero if they are serious about fighting the climate change. In effect, the West needs to do a net minus and not just net zero. To claim that by achieving net zero in 2050 they will keep the temperature with 2-degree limit as in is a chimera. Thanks to the effort of India, the phase phrase used in 2021 summit level declaration is both G20 and Quad global net zero. We need to build on this understanding, holding their feet on fire. But the backsliding has become one of the prime ministerial candidate on UK said recently that net zero plan mustn't cover people. This is another way of saying let's forget about the present, shall we? About it for the present, shall we? We can't forget about the present or future. The global stocktake Paris Agreement will be done in 2023 to assess the world collective progress towards the long-term goal. In the current scenario, stocktake may well provide the developed countries the right forum to shift burden to the mitigation commitment on the developing country, knowing well that they will not be able to meet theirs by 2030. And what is happening to the plan of developed country mobilizing $100 billion per year by 2020 for climate action in the developing country? Can global south transition to renewables without genuine transfer of credible technology? India stands as a beacon of hope for in renewables. It is the time for developing countries, especially the small island developed state, to make sure that the developed world doesn't backslide on their commitment on mitigation yet again. COP27 in Egypt give the opportunity to hold their feet on fire. It is a time for developed world to make net minus pledges. If we don't collectively push for it, we will be collectively pushed back. Okay, so a very good concept for global net zero and not local net zero or individual net zero, right? And countries have to come together because global north is actually pulling us back. Okay, let's see. And this is about the private sector boost in India space industry. Okay, Principal Scientific Advisor Ajay Kumar Sood stated that government will soon take up new space policy to increase private sector participation. Consultations have already begun and final version of the policy will soon be referred to ETG, Power Technology Group, for further examination. Enhancing space technology will be beneficial to bolster connectivity and combat climate related implications through more secure and effective means. Private sector involvement is in long term, as with other commercial space sectors believed to help spur investment and expertise in the realm which capital intensive and demand and high technology. Okay, private sector, what will they do? In long term, they will help to spur investment. They will bring in investment. They will create routes for investment and expertise in this realm, right? In the realm of space technology, which is actually capital intensive and demands high technology. Okay, so it is both capital and technology intensive, right? About arrest and bail order. The division bench of Supreme Court in this case, Satinder Kumar Until versus CBI, has laid down fresh guideline on arrest in order to have strict compliance of the provision of section 41A of CRPC. 41 provides for the circumstance in which arrest can be made by the police without a warrant. 41A provides for the requirement of notice to be sent by the IAS before making an arrest in certain conditions. High courts have also been directed to undertake exercise of finding out the under trial prisoners who are not comply with the bail conditions. Okay, fine. Give it a read, you'll understand. So we have a point over here, menstrual disturbances. So whenever we have a question regarding health plus sanitation, especially of women in repro age, so menstrual disturbance with not only COVID, with any pandemic and its vaccination, right? Let's see if anything else is remaining. Okay then, I think we have finished today's newspaper analysis. So with this I say goodbye to you all, but before saying goodbye, I'll urge you to subscribe the channel, like the content, comment and share, right? So I'm taking a part from you. Goodbye all, good luck and Jai Hind.
So friends, I really hope that you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe our channel and share this video with your friend. Follow us on Telegram as well. Also, keep studying hard, keep following your dreams and keep tuned to our channel. Comment below for any suggestion. Till then, goodbye, good luck, keep studying hard.